Hi, everybody. This is David P. France coming to you from Basel, Switzerland. And before we get started, for those of you who are out there watching, please like the video. Please subscribe to our YouTube and our BitChute channel and share the videos with your friends and family. We are DavidPFranceTV. This is a platform for creators and creative people, artists, inventors, small business owners, thought leaders, entrepreneurs. And today I'm speaking to a good friend of mine who I've known for quite some time, Alessandro Lizza. And Alessandro and I have known, like maybe I think 8 years now, maybe even longer.
Longer, I guess.
Longer now?
Oh yeah.
In
at least 12.
12 years.
Possibly, yeah.
Alessandro is based in Rome, Italy, and he is a yoga teacher and practitioner. And I just wanted to, reach out to you today, Alessandro, because I had not spoken to you in a while, and I wanted to see what was going on. I mean, generally, yeah, we're still in the midst of this global health crisis. So I wanted to know how you were managing, and if you could give the audience an update on what you've been up to.
Well, me personally or as a country?
Well, I think both, because I don't watch the news. I get my updates from my peers. I don't watch the news. I rarely go to the website and look on the.
It's a healthy choice not to watch them anymore. I think I switched off the TV like at least a year ago. Now it's always on. I'm watching like YouTube, following my channels, or watching some series sometimes. And I get some music from Spotify from the TV, but actually I don't watch any national channels anymore. I don't watch any news, because I think that the way they bombard you with all these bad things over and over, they have like a very powerful effect on your brain, on your health and everything. So I don't want to get brainwashed anymore. That's my point now.
Do you think, let me ask you a question, because you brought this up. Do you think, and I was just having this conversation with my younger sister, and when we were younger, there was negativity on television, but do you think there has been an increase since we have gotten older? You always think that it's been
negative? Hard to compare, because I have changed. So not only the TV is changing, but I am changing as well. So my perspective changes. So maybe when I was younger, I wouldn't notice a lot of things, like a lot of people that I know don't notice. They watch the news and they are 100% convinced that everything they're watching is real. And I don't believe that. I think there's so much politics involved. There's so much, there's like an agenda behind as well. A lot of things that we don't know. And I don't trust it anymore. But maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I used to have more trust and I was more naive myself. So I would, in a different way, maybe I would feel less bombarded. Now I am, because I'm also aware of the power of my thoughts. And I know how much I can be influenced by my environment, including whatever is on the telly. So if you watch it 10 hours a day, everyone says, oh, I don't watch much telly, but they watch it at least 3 or 4 hours, because you keep it in the background as well. Sometimes people are doing their chores and they have in the background, they keep on hearing and listening to the same things over and over. And I think that's got a big influence. Now I'm aware of this. Maybe 20 years ago, I wasn't aware of that so much. So for me, it's very hard to compare it to how it used to be. But now we have internet as well. Before we didn't have internet, so we can make a comparison because we have more different sources. And some particular TV is telling us now, at least in my country, but I know it's happening all over, that a lot of things on internet are fakes, right? And you don't know. People tend to believe that this is the real stuff comes from TV, and whatever is on the internet could be fake. And for me, sometimes it's the other way around. I'm thinking that they want to, carry on an agenda, and whatever goes is different from whatever they're saying, they don't like it and they call it fake. And if you also look at YouTube, which I follow a lot, because I like to follow channels that inspire me, where there's people talking about different things from well-being, spirituality, or whatever, I see there's a big censorship at the moment. Whatever goes against the mainstream thinking is being censored. So people are moving their videos and the channels away from YouTube to other platforms because they're more free. And that's very scary because they keep on mentioning the book, 1984 from Orwell, when there was a big censorship. They were, burning all the books that were going against the regime at that time. And I think we are there. Actually, we are in the same kind of time, and I'm very aware of it. So I decide not to watch it anymore, and I choose different sources, and I make my own decisions. I know that there's a lot of exaggeration, there's some fake stuff, but I don't think that it comes necessarily from the underground information. It could be from the mainstream information as well, where the fake stuff comes. So that's how I see it now.
What?
That's how I see it now, but I didn't have this awareness 20 years ago. So for me, making a comparison with those media 20 years ago or 10 years ago, it's nearly impossible.
So when you say you changed a lot, is this some of the things that you've just mentioned, is this how you have changed in terms of you're more aware, or how in other ways have you changed rather?
Well,
since 20 years ago, or in terms of looking at television,
we all change. It's like change is the only constant in life. I mean, that's the only thing that it's always change. The only truth that we know, that everything changes, so nothing stays still. I mean, we would like to keep it still forever, but change is a part of evolution. So we all change. The point is how you change. You can change as a result of things that happen to you, and it's like more an automatic way of changing. It's like you cannot help it, you just do it. Or maybe you can embark on a journey when you say, oh, I want to develop a side of myself. I want to do some search. I mean, I'm a yoga teacher, so I'm doing some search. It's part of, that's why I chose that path in my life, because I was attracted to my evolution as a human being. So it's not that I'm just living my life and that's it, and then I change as a result. I want to change. I want to tackle all the things that maybe I don't like about myself. If I have some issues, if I have some wounds, I want to go over them and see them. I don't want to avoid them. And I want to understand how I can become a better person every day. So if I do this with this awareness, I'm going to change even more, because I change in a way that I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. So I'm doing extra stuff to do that. So basically I'm reading, I'm surrounding myself by inspiring people, and also I'm reading inspiring book. I decide what to watch on TV. I mean, I think the ephemeral stuff is okay. Mm-hmm. Superficiality is okay. It's part of life. The problem is that when that becomes the majority of whatever is your life. So when the ephemeral takes 3/4 of your life, I think there's something wrong going on. And that's what the society is trying to do. Whatever they give us, all the information, it's all about ephemeral. You watch TV, it's all about, reality shows and fashion. I mean, all beautiful things. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not judging them. I just say everything has to be done in the right proportion. So I want to have a life which is for 3/4 made by substantial stuff, and then 1/4 by the ephemeral, not the other way around. At the moment, the way they are raising us as a collective group of people is to give us ephemeral as the most of it. I don't want that. So I'm aware of that. That's my choice. So I choose what to watch on TV if I want to watch it, and I choose to read some specific books, or to do some courses, or to be with people of a certain kind. So that's how I'm changing in a more, I would say, meaningful way, because I'm choosing it. It's not that I'm just doing it because I'm the receipt of the events around me. I am saying, oh, I want to go in this direction. I'm making like a stand and say, I want to go in this direction. And I'm going to be reading this, doing this, eating a certain way, going to some places. And that's how you evolve, I guess, not just more quickly, it's not about speed, it's how you evolve in a specific direction where your life, where you want your life to go, basically. And I want to be more profound and less ephemeral, still keeping some ephemeral around me. Just the right amount.
One of the things I can actually see how you've changed, and one of the ways I visually, is that when we first met, you seem to be like, right now, as I'm looking at you, people may not necessarily know how tall you are and how, you know, I say wide in terms of your structure. I just remember that when I met you, you were like a rugby player. You had like a rugby player build almost. This was the very first meeting, and I just remember you being having more weight. Yeah, like you seem to have like I wouldn't necessarily say like a American football player, but if you had said, oh yeah, I played football, you know, in university or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, I see it. But now it's like the body has a bit more, it's a very different kind of body because you've been doing yoga for quite some time. How has yoga changed your actual physical body?
Well, it's funny what you're saying, because I wouldn't say the things you said about my body, to be honest. So it's funny how everyone perceives everything in different ways. I don't see that my body has changed as much from an external point of view. Actually, I think it stayed more or less the same, I think. It depends also how you're dressed. I mean, now I'm all like, you know, you don't see much with this. But it's also, yeah, it depends how much you want to, you know, show off with the way you're dressed or whatever. But I think that I feel more flexible, not only physically, but mentally as well. So it's like if yoga not only shaped my body, but it shaped my mind as well, in a way. And it's my body is a reflection of my mind, which is the principle of yoga, where body, mind, and soul all become one. That's what yoga means. Yoga means union, which is more like the balance of the usually three main aspects of the human person, or in the human, which is body, mind, and soul. And I think now my body is more like supple, and my movements are more like, I don't know, smooth in a way.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what I'm seeing.
The energy you perceive is that like a smoother kind of body, which is actually pretty much the same if you measure it, if you take the size or the muscles or whatever, but it's just the way it presents itself and the energy that comes out of it, which is possibly different. And maybe you perceive that because you go beyond the appearance and you see other things, and then you're comparing them with before, the initial impression, the impression you have now. I think that's because you perceive more the energy that my body has rather than the aspect itself.
The expression, maybe it's also the full expression, because when I first met you, I mean, I'm not saying you are the same person, right? You are the same person, but how you expressed yourself back then and now is way different, right? Like way different. Not to say that you were already on that path, right? Because I think that's how, you know, we came together for these projects. But I can see the growth, if you want to call it that, for sure. You know, I can actually see the growth and feel the growth.
I believe that also you got to know me better, and also you have a larger vision of who I am. So when you first meet someone, you always bring your baggage with you. Not you personally, everyone brings it. So you always have your idea. You see a guy tall with some muscle, you think, you know, he's doing the gym and blah, blah, blah. And you don't know a lot of things. And then you get to know that person and you see other aspects of that person, you know, and maybe you get a fuller image. And it's because all of us are revealing ourselves more and more. So the more that we know each other, the more we reveal, you know, different sides. And it's funny because we all have some prejudice, and we think that's some kind of stereotype when we see someone, and we put that person in that category that we have in our minds. constructing in our mind, and then we see that that person actually doesn't fall in that category, can fall in another one, or maybe it crosses different ones, and you think, oh wow, so he's different, or maybe now I'm seeing different things. Who knows the truth? But that's for everyone. That's the interesting thing.
Yes, it is very much interesting, and probably one of the reasons that I continue to do these interviews, because even though I haven't done any, photo shoots like we did, it's sort of like a photo shoot. It's a different way to engage now, that I haven't been doing lots of photo shoots like I did in the past, right? It's a different way to move into the face and find out, how a person is, or how to find out about a person, right? So, it's one of the reasons why I can go back to back to back. Like I could do like 3 or 4 interviews in a row if I had them organized. Not a problem. Like, and just so you know, when I worked in TV, I was the booker. So when they said I had to make a call up the person to do a pre-interview, for me, that was my interview, right? So I would interview the person, then I would write the questions and then give them to the anchor, but I felt like I was doing the interview, you said.
Cool.
So anyway, so what else I want to know specifically what's happening in Italy. I think it's important for us at least to talk about that. What is going on in Rome? Like, what news do you have that you could share with us to give us an idea of what?
Well, as I said, I'm not watching the news, but I get information anyway about what's going on, because I need to adjust my life around the rules that change every 2 days, I would say. We are divided in 20 regions, and every region has got different color, right? Which is yellow, red, orange. So it's like a whole rainbow over Italy at the moment. And according to your color, you're allowed to do some stuff rather than other. So when you are in the red zone, basically there's nothing you can do except for the basic things, the main things for survival. Then you get from there into orange, and then you're allowed to go and see some people. You can be in a car with other people rather than just one. And then there's another color, which is white. When it's white, it's celebration time, total freedom, basically, more or less. But they keep on changing. So it's like 1 week you're red, then you become orange. Then maybe you are the owner of the restaurant, so you're white. You can open all day long. And then they change you into orange the next week, so you have to close again. Maybe you have a lot of stocks and stuff that you bought for your business, and you don't know what to do with it. So it's like very, very chaotic, basically. And also we got a curfew, so we need to be back home around 10. And
10, that's early for you guys. Yeah. I mean 10 is late for most people, but 10 is like, you guys generally like
but we are the one that have been penalized the most. I don't want to sound egocentric, but it's like Italy has been one of the main countries with the worst situation and rules they implemented. At least that's what we get, because now we're watching on the internet that some other countries are in the open. They're walking outside, the people, they're eating, and we cannot do that
still.
Or you can do it in some times. Now we need to have a mask all day long when we go outside. It used to be indoors before, now it's outdoors as well. And then some people are saying you only have to wear it if you cannot keep the minimum distance from people, the physical 1 meter or whatever. Some people are not aware of that. Some people, they are. There's so much confusion. And I think all of that adds to the stress we're going through at the moment, because things changing constantly. There's no way that you can keep up with everything. It's impossible. And you have a business at work to do. You don't know what to do. I'm like doing private classes. 1 week I'm not supposed to be going to visit people. The next week then I cannot anymore. It's like, what? I feel like swearing now. I shouldn't swear, but when you say what the and I don't know. So everyone now, I can sense people are exhausted and tired. So they are becoming more what did you say, more flexible with the rules. They tend to interpret them more than before. Before it was more like, oh, we need to do this. Now people are like, it's been a year and a half nearly, still in the same situation, no thanks. So that's the mood that you're getting more and more often now.
Sure.
I don't want to get into my personal opinion about the whole thing.
No,
I'm not doing that, but I'm just saying what I'm sensing, and people tend to be quite fed up with the situation.
That's fine. You know what? Last time I was in Italy was when we were hanging out, and I remember that restaurant, that area around the Colosseum. I'm wondering, I really want to go back. I'm like, oh my God, that restaurant was so good. I mean, Italy is known for great restaurant, great food. Like, I'm wondering, how is this affecting the tourism, the restaurants, the hotels? I mean,
oh, it's the end. I mean, the other day there was a big parade in the middle of Rome. All these people having businesses with restaurants. They didn't get enough help from the government, and there's been a lot of protests going around. People are exhausted, basically. I mean, Italy is not based on restaurant only, it's tourism most of all, and everything has been shut for more than a year now. So I'm talking about museums, all the hotels, and all the facilities or whatever, the amenities that go around the tourism. Not only for ourselves that live here, which is, we can still do some takeaway stuff, which is okay. So most of restaurants are thriving on the takeaway thing. But I mean, usually just think of the hotels. I mean, hotels have been closed for mostly for a year and a half. They didn't have any kind of way to get around the problem. I mean, it's no one coming to Rome anymore, or to Italy, or just a few people. So there's no way that you can find another way to get away with it. It's impossible. There's nothing. At least the restaurants were able to do some delivery, which is still a small fraction compared to the business they used to have. Or maybe in the fitness world, you know, all the gyms were closed. We were able to do some online stuff. So somehow we had different ways to restrict all the problems and that we're going through, you know, to limit all the problems that we're going through. But if you think of tourism and all the hotels and bed and breakfast, there's nothing that they could do about it. That's probably, I mean, the aviation, the travel industry, and the actual hotel industry, they've been hit the most. And I don't think they found a way to, you know, to do alternative stuff. It's just impossible.
Yeah. Well, I'm always thinking, I mean, part of why I formed the channel again is to have the dialogue, right? So I think it's very important for you to be able to share that sentiment, to share your insight, because I don't necessarily know who's going to watch the video, right? And let's just put it this way. When I upload the videos, you know, I'm always looking at the analytics. I say, okay, who's watching, whatever. But what is amazing about this whole experience is with YouTube or any of the channels is that, you know, you'll forget about the video. It's been done in the past or whatever. And then all of a sudden you'll look at the analytics and a video that you did, you know, months ago starts to get views, right? So you never know. And I'll just tell you the way I watch videos. I constantly, like, if I find somebody that I'm, you know, that I like, I'll start watching all of their videos. Right? Like there's always going to be one person that sees the bigger picture, right? There are a lot of people, like you say, that want to see the flash and the glitz, right? They want to get, you know, that short clip from the video. But I like to follow narratives, right? So I can look at a video and actually start to put the pieces together about who the host is and what the show is about, and I'll start watching more. So that's what I think is so nice about what we're presenting. And look, you never know who's going to watch the video and say, hey, I'm into yoga, I'm into, you know, fitness. They watch you and then they email you directly. And I'll even give you something further. There's a guy whose videos started popping up. Amazing guy. I will send you the link. His name is Trend Genius. He's a black African-American guy from the South. he has 1,800 videos already. It's
Wow.
just him talking, but talks about all of these different areas, you know. So he made this product, like some kind of like skin product. So I said, hey, look, I'm interested in the product. Like, how much is it? And if you could send it to Switzerland, how much would it be? He comes back, oh, it's 80 USD. I said, look, I cannot spend $80 on this. I said, I might as well just give you $20 as a cash app. So what they're doing now is people with channels, they'll say, support the channel. You can always send me a cash app. I mean, it's evolved. This whole platform has evolved. And literally, I mean, I'm a little bit behind most of the people that are out there on YouTube. I mean, they are out there doing all kinds of stuff. So, you know, I mean, I now can use you guys in these videos, and I'll say, oh, go check out, you know, Alessandro, he talks about yoga, right? Go so-and-so does this, you know, so you never know. You never know. And what it does is that they, like, for example, when I look at other people's channels and I see how they do things, it always improves, you know, how I can, you know, get information from the guest and deliver to the audience. So I just wanted to, you know, give that or say that with you while you're here.
Yeah. I mean, I think some people are born to do these things. I mean,
Yes.
they love to be, you know, in front of the camera and speak about every different subject every single day. I haven't got the patience to do that. So a lot of people always ask me, why don't you do it? Because people say that I got a lot of things to say. I'm like, yeah, I might have a lot of things to say, but I haven't got the patience to go there on air every day or every other day and do it. But some people are like, wow. I mean, I admire them. I mean, I couldn't do it. I'm talking about different stuff as well, socials like Instagram, always,
Yes.
you know, filming and doing pictures. They do their, I mean, I got students, my own students, that they're actually more visible than me on the media. So they're like, every day every time they do a class, even a class with me online, they film themselves and then they put it on Instagram with all these beautiful sentences, all these beautiful clothes. And I'm like, Jesus, I'm supposed to be their teacher. And I got much fewer followers than theirs, so many posts compared to theirs, so, you know, less posts compared to theirs. And I'm like, well, whatever, that's the way I am. And I'm thinking, I cannot really force my nature. I mean, I can make an effort, but I cannot go against my nature if it's not the way I feel at the moment. Well, I don't like the overexposure in general.
Well, I think what the downside of it, and I'm not going to keep you much longer, but the downside of it is that everyone now can do it. So in order to be seen, it's much more difficult to be seen when everyone has access to it. So that's why you have to come up with new ideas about how to communicate out to the people.
My personal idea is that it could be misleading as well, because I mean, if you're talking about fashion, maybe it's different because you're showing off whatever clothes, which is okay. But then in my specific case, I'm talking about yoga. Yoga is more like an internal journey rather than something that you show off. Yeah, you can show the beautiful poses, you can show your body, but that's not really the purpose of yoga. It's one of the side effects of yoga. But that's, since you're using like a medium which is all about images, so basically you're sending a message, if you do it over and over and over, that's your discipline that you're actually doing, maybe teaching, it's about image, and that is wrong. So that's why I believe that in some specific fields, less is more. And maybe you should be careful with not, you know, overexposing yourself, because then the message could be misleading. And also you're doing all these beautiful things and people want to, you know, imitate you and do the same thing. And it's like, that's not the reason why we're doing yoga at the end of the day. I mean, I'm not like a dancer or an acrobat that I'm doing all these things beautifully. And it's different. It's like all the books that you read, all the things that you've done, which you cannot portray it on, you know, on a medium like Instagram. It's impossible. So it's very important that if you want to convey a message, that you have to be very careful with how you do it. So for me, the way I see it, it's less is more. So okay, you do it every now and then, but I wouldn't overdo it. But then I look around and everyone is like every single day doing 10 different, you know, shots or whatever, and everything looks so difficult. And then it's very easy that you miss the point of why you're doing that. And that's the big problem nowadays. We are very visual nowadays, and that's the problem. We should look less with the eyes and more with other senses.
But Alessandro, I mean, part of what, and I'll repeat it again, is that if the younger population has been raised with a certain way of doing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, I've had to bend even more than I thought I would have to with social media. So now I'm on TikTok. I feel like you though. I don't like doing the videos. I don't feel like I don't feel comfortable just doing that. But the video has been very effective, right? It's not, how can I put it? I hear what you're saying, right? Which is that, yoga, people should be careful with things like yoga and almost every subject matter. But I think when the majority of the people are out there and they're getting that information from these sources, it's as if now, you have to become a very good producer of content and stories and things like that. So, it maintains your integrity. And there's a way to do that using video, but that is more time, there's more effort and more time that you have to put into it. You can't just, here's my video, plop, you can start out that way.
I do admire the work of a lot of people. As I said, I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't have the patience to do it. So I admire that. I'm just saying that depending on the field you're working, you have to be careful, because every field has got different message. And when it comes to a field that it's based on whatever is not visual, which is like yoga or whatever you call it, spiritual, you have to be very careful not to overexpose and send the wrong message, that you have to build something to be seen rather than to be felt. So that's my idea about my specific environment. Then, as I said, say that you're working in fashion, then you want to every day take a photo or whatever, the bags you're creating or the clothes you're doing. It makes sense. It's different. I think everything has got a different field, but we need to be careful with whatever message we want to send. That's what I'm saying. But I do admire a lot of the people who spend a lot of time on that. But also, one last thing, I think we are creating also the idea that it's very easy to become a personality or very rich through the media and selling stuff or selling your image. And actually, I think 1 in a million can do that. Most people don't do it. So there's another business now. I tell you, because I got contacted so many times that all these people say, oh, we really like your profile. Why don't you sponsor our t-shirts, right? But they don't say, oh, we're going to send them to you for free. I mean, they did it once, but most people say, if you need to buy our stuff, and then when you put it on your page or whatever, then you get 1% for whatever article you sell or whatever.
Right.
But basically, you need to pay them to become a sponsor for them. And most people, since they have a very now kind of weak ego or maybe strong ego, they say, okay, I'll do it. At least I can say that I'm become a personality on Instagram or whatever. So they are paying all this money to all these companies just to pretend, or maybe to show off they're quite important now. And they're not making any money, and they are making the money because they are exploiting the weakness of most people nowadays through this way. And that's another phenomenon that I'm observing. And I'm saying, oh, we have to be careful, because not everyone becomes a personality. Actually, just a few people do it. Most people are just there. There are people that are buying followers. I'm like,
they're buying what?
followers. They buy followers. They go to companies.
Followers.
And the
Okay,
companies
yes,
say,
sure.
oh, I sell you 10,000 followers. I'm like, why would you pay for them? And they are actually losing money. They're not making money, but only the fact to be able to say, oh, I got 10,000 followers now, they are happy about it. And that's another danger about it, because they are exploiting all these weaknesses in people, because we're growing up as a different way of society based on the social media. So everyone wants to feel important. So it doesn't matter if you're not making a profit anymore, actually, if you're paying, but as long as you feel important, then it's okay. And then I think that's very dangerous, because once again, it's misleading, because rather than working on your personality in a different way, you actually feeding your insecurities through these things, and these people are exploiting those insecurities. That's another tricky thing. I don't know if you ever thought about it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, one of the reasons why I had some, I'm going to say trepidations, but some hesitation about doing the channel was exactly for what you've just said, right? I mean, but the great thing is that because I have some sort of television background and I know how to produce things, I don't necessarily have the time like the people that are doing it now on Instagram and whatnot. I can at least present a great, a platform for people, right? So in other words, I'm doing my part, right? I'm doing my part, right? And I will continue to do this, from now until, whenever. I mean, we're still in the process of trying to figure out what's happening in the world, right? And the pandemic is having a huge effect on us worldwide. So, I won't worry so much about all of these other things that are happening.
No, I know there's more stuff to be worried about at the moment. I know, I'm aware that this is nothing compared to the rest. But before the rest happened, this was a main thing, a major thing. I was just like, it's nothing compared to the other problems. Yeah, I'm aware.
Well, let me ask you one last question, is that when the companies, or even better, how many offers or inquiries do you get with regard to these types of things per week, per month? Do you count? Do you keep track?
It's funny. The moment I put like a picture of myself training or doing yoga, and I put like the hashtag workouts, fitness, or whatever, there's always someone contacting me. Oh, we love your profile. Would you like to get more followers, or would you like to become a sponsor of our line of products or whatever? So it's always very flattering. But I know them. I mean, I know what they're aiming at. So most of the time I dismiss them. Sometimes if they are more sophisticated way to approach, because they do change the approach. Now there's always like a telephone number to call or something. Then I ask more questions, just because I like to investigate more. And then I understand there's a change in style as well, the way they approach people. But at the end of the day, it's always the same stuff. At the end of the day, you are paying them, to get more visibility or whatever. So they make the profit. I'm actually just reinforcing my ego if I need that to feel more important. That's how it works. I call it like a trap. And then for a few people, it really works, but most of the times they're already famous. Then if you're already famous, then if you're already famous, then they say, oh, you know what? We would like you to, to become a sponsor or whatever. But if you're not famous, you only have like, I don't know, a few, bunch of people following you.
Yes.
There's no way that they want to pay on you. It only happens once with me when I had the Wanderlust thing that came to Italy, which is a big company that does yoga traveling around the world. And then they said to me, oh, we're going to send you our t-shirt for free. So if you're going to wear it while you're doing, I don't know, your practice of yoga or whatever, we will appreciate that. So they really did it. So they were very good of them, but they were fine. But that was one out of 15 different situations and scenarios. Most of the people, they want you to pay with the illusion that you're going to make a profit, but in the meantime, they get paid. And you can say to your people, oh, guess what? I'm very important because I'm sponsoring blah, 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 blah. That's how it works. I mean, that's how they take you. Come on.
Alessandro, but wait. Let's look at it from a positive perspective, just from a business positive perspective. What's great about it is that at least people are, inquiring, right? There may be one company, a company full of smart people that can see how to work with each individual person in order to build something, right? I mean, if you're just shooting emails to different people just based on what they look like or what they're doing, it's not going to work. But it's my hope that new companies, new brands will come that will have people who are very smart about what they're doing, right? So that's what I'm interested in doing, right? That's why I asked you, like, is there anybody good that has actually reached out to you that actually has a great story, that's doing some great things? There's always going to be someone, but it may take some time before those people.
No, I mean,
yeah,
they would be, I'm sure there are, but I'm talking about the mass. I mean, it's like out of 10 people that contact you, maybe one is genuine and they're doing things the right way. Most people that are just exploiting the fact that they know there's a lot of people that can wait, to be, broadcast like, I don't know, goddesses of internet, of Instagram, or whatever. So I think that's what they're actually exploiting, because they're not willing to invest on you. You need to invest on them. That's the thing. But if you come to me and say, you know what, let's make a deal. You put 50% of you and I put 50% on me, and then we do this together, then I understand. And there are some people that do that, but there's so much trash going around on the media that most people, that's what people have to be very careful about. Most people that get in touch with you, they're not doing it because they really want to invest on you. They just want to make a profit out of you, exploiting the fact that you might be willing to spend some money just to be more visible. So they are using this weakness, which I call the need of being visible nowadays, to make profit themselves. So if you have that weakness that you want to be more and more visible, you end up spending a lot of money. You're not making a second career on the social media, and you're making them rich, not yourself. So all you're left with is just like, oh, now I got 10,000 followers. Yeah, what can you do with them? Are you paying your bills with them? So they might be even fake, because sometimes you get fake followers. So I don't want to be polemical here, but I'm just saying that's what happens. So you have to be very careful, because even the media, social media, have become, the new jungle, where you have to be very careful and be able to detect the different intentions. But most people, unfortunately, they have those intentions, in my opinion, in my experience, the majority. And then there are some people that, yes, as you say, they want to invest in you because they think that you could be good for them, for real.
Yeah. Well, that's just what I can see. But I'm very different, right? So I'm interested in the latter approach, which is investing in people. That's what I think is phenomenal, when people can actually see that perspective, and they approach you and they say, oh, and they actually have options. We can do this, we can do this, we can do this. I mean, this is fantastic. Anyway, is there anything else that you have on your plate, any upcoming projects, anything that you would like to promote before I let you go for this interview?
Promote? Not really. I'm not making plans, in the long run. I don't know, because of the situation at the moment. I was supposed to do like a yoga retreat with a colleague of mine, and then we decided to cancel it, because we didn't know if we were able in June to have people coming to one place in the countryside. So I'm not actually. The big lesson of this specific time in my life, it's that I'm living every day as it is. I'm not making plans I cannot go over a week from now. It's just nearly impossible because the way they are changing things around us, because I don't know if I'm keeping one job that I'm doing, part-time. I don't know anything, honest. And my only security is like in the present now. So all the teachings I have to go through with my, my studies to become a yoga teacher, they are becoming very useful at the moment, just to be in the present. So projects, I don't know, just being in the present will be enough for me as a project. Then in 3 months from now, I could be on Mars doing some things. I don't know. I might go to another planet. I don't know. Everything could happen, but at the moment, no idea.
Well, look, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me. Always interesting to talk to you. I love talking to people. Before we started this conversation, recording it, I told you I could do this back to back to back. One person after the next, and it's almost, I never thought that with all of the people that I've met, that I would be able to do something like this, right? So I find this is an opportunity, and I'm very fortunate that I have people such as yourself that are open to share with, the people out there what you're up to and that sort of thing. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.
Have a great rest of your Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. Ciao.
Ciao. Take care.